Hello again, welcome back to Dave on Jays. Now this is entirely a Blue Jays related channel, but the rest of the league does have to play the Blue Jays, so I guess we should talk a little bit about how the other 5 divisions around baseball are going to shake out, according to a definitive source, that being me. But it's not strictly about the Blue Jays, so it's going to be quick and dirty. Here we go! The Diamondbacks are probably going to be pretty bad, but they're the kind of bad that you don't really mind being. They're kind of like 2018 Blue Jays bad. They've got some good prospects on the way up, some of whom have already started to arrive. They've got a couple of vets who they think are going to be exemplars for all the young kids coming up behind them, and who will still be good contributors on the next good Diamondbacks team. Re-signing Ketel Marte absolutely gave me the Astros re-signing Jose Altuve vibes when they were at like the very depths of their despair and awfulness. Diamondbacks are going to be bad, but they're bad with a purpose, so it's fine. I don't know what the Rockies are doing. Do you? Do they? Paying the Cardinals to take Arenado off their hands, refusing to deal or extend Jon Gray or Trevor Story at the deadline, then watching them walk away for nothing, and then extending McMahon to play third base, and then throwing an inflated bag of money at Kris Bryant, whose best position is third base? If Lowell Mets is done, it's now Lowell Rocks. I have no idea what's up there. That team's a dumpster fire, but it's a lovely place to watch a baseball game, and they've got just enough talent to stay out of the basement. 4th place. The Giants won 100+ games last year. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Buster Posey turned in an all-time season. Brandon Crawford and Belt had great seasons. Lamont Wade Jr. was the clutchest clutch who ever clutched. I had never heard of Logan Webb before last year, and I follow the league. Who the hell is Logan Webb? I'm still not sure, but he's great. I look at this team and I say this team can't possibly win 100 games and be competitive in the NL West. But I said that last year, so what the hell do I know? I think 3rd place this year, but I'm prepared to be wrong. Similarly, I looked at the San Diego Padres last year and was like, that's a really talented team. Plus, they're the off-season champions, which definitely means that good things are coming to them, Tug's collar. But they just absolutely disappointed all throughout. Injuries, underperformance, ancient voodoo curse, possibly, I don't know, something. Super stacked rotation that suddenly wasn't. Unfair lineup that suddenly was mediocre. Bullpen meltdowns that just seemed like a fait accompli towards the end of the year. And now at the start of this year, top 3 player in the world, Fernando Tatis, is out until June, I think. I look at this team and it's just too much talent. A full year on recovery of Clevinger, a return to form of Snell. For the love of God, this is a good team. They've got to win some games, right? 2nd place. And it seems like a cop-out to just look at this Dodgers team and say, all right, well, 110 wins, see you in October. But, I mean, that is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm pretty much saying that. Look, they took a team that was already obnoxiously good, and then they added Kimbrel and Freeman. See you in October. The Pittsburgh Pirates are real bad, and kind of emblematic of everything that's wrong with baseball right now. They re-signed Ke'Bryan Hayes, and that's great. They might even re-sign Bryan Reynolds, and that too would be great, but that doesn't remotely make up for the fact that they're not competitive, not trying to be competitive, and not going to be competitive anytime in the near future. Sell the team, Nutting. 5th place. The Cincinnati Reds confuse me. One year they're going to pick up Nick Castellanos, they're signing Mike Moustakas. The next year they're offloading everybody with a pulse who's not named Joey Votto. Also, can someone please send like an Apache rescue helicopter to go get Votto the hell out of that situation? It is a crime. That guy's going to the Hall of Fame playing for a thoroughly and deliberately mediocre franchise. We're getting dangerously close to the days of the NL Comedy Central again here, guys. Y'all gotta pick it up. 4th place. The Cubs are interesting too. Kind of in that same way as like the Reds if they tried just a modicum harder. You let the core of your championship team walk away. Imagine a team with Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, all on the same... Oh, man. No, that's too crazy to even think about. But then you sign Marcus Stroman and Seiya Suzuki, and it's like, all right, is there like a we're trying but not really trying category? Because that seems to be the Cubs. I've heard them described as a real estate development company first and a baseball team second. I don't know about any of that, but it would explain a lot of their actions. They're a confusing team. And in 3rd place. I don't know about the Cardinals, man. I mean, this seems to be just the Waino, Yadi, and Albert feel-good reunion tour. Like, this is the baseball equivalent of the Eagles getting back together for one last ride. And that's heartwarming and everything, but are they gonna win? They've got some great, just below name brand level stars. If and when Jack Flaherty comes back, they'll actually have a pretty good rotation. But they keep trying to convince me that Lars Nootbaar is a real person, and I kind of resent them for that. Anyway, second place and probably a playoff team. The Brewers are interesting. Great pitching staff. Their starting rotation is great. Corbin Burns looks like he's going to be a Cy Young threat for the next, 5 years. Dude can ball. Are they going to score any runs? I don't know what happened to Christian Yelich, but I really wish it would unhappen because he was a really dynamic player who just looks like a shadow of himself and has for a while. From what I can tell, this team is really going to lean on guys like Rowdy Tellez, my boy, and Willy Adames to generate a lot of its offense. And don't come at me about Locaine. I love Locaine, but he's not the guy he used to be. Despite what I just said, though, I have them winning the division. And former Twins player and baseball Nostradamus Trevor Plouffe, who accurately predicted last year's World Series matchup and outcome, has declared that it will be Brewers over the White Sox in this year's World Series. So, plan the parade, I guess. Whew. Yeah, if the AL East is the Thunderdome, I don't know what the NL East is then, but it's going to be tough. Washington Nationals are rebuilding. They have a few nice pieces, but they also have the best hitter on the planet. I really hope that Juan Soto re-signs in Washington, and for Washington, that is their World Series, is getting this guy to sign on the dotted line. The stuff that Childish Bambino's been able to do before he turns 25 is unbelievable. Watching a legit Hall of Fame baseball person ply his trade before our very eyes is always exciting. Despite what I said about Joey Votto, I do love seeing Hall of Famers play their whole career for one team. Really warms the old heart cockles. Anyway, Washington's in 5th place and is probably fine with that. The Marlins are basically the Brewers again. They have this top flight starting rotation. Better than the Brewers, in fact. They might have the best pure stuff rotation in the game, but this is probably one of the most banjo hitting lineups in the National League. They're going to win a lot of 2-1 games, they're going to lose a lot of 2-1 games. If they can develop even a couple of hitters, or if their ownership decides to pony up even a little bit of money, they're going to be super dangerous in the next couple of years. This year, however, 4th place, sorry to say. So the Phillies are super into this idea that they get to have a DH now. They're so into it, they went out and signed 6 of them this offseason. Who's going to tell them? Should I tell them? A team that had really poor run prevention last year, particularly its apocalyptically, unsustainably bad bullpen, decided that what it needed to do to fix that problem is outscore all of its problems. Does that work? I don't think that works. Anyway, this stands to be the most hilarious 3rd place team in baseball. I'm excited. It's hard to look at the Mets and say, that's a 2nd place team, because no, it's not. That's a really good baseball team. I love the addition of Starling Marte. Mark Canha is a understated but pretty canny move. And then, oh yeah, Max Scherzer. The problem is I have this sneaking sense of doom about what should be an absolutely devastating starting rotation. Jacob deGrom, the erstwhile best starting pitcher on the planet, is already on the DL. It's not clear when he's going to come back, or if he'll have to go back on again when he does come back. Dude seems to be made of glass. It's heartbreaking. And Max Scherzer seems like as sure a bet as there is in the game, but dude's got a lot of miles on that arm. And power pitchers, when the end comes, it comes fast and it comes ugly. I'm not saying it's going to be this year or even in the near future, but it's always got to be a concern. If the Mets stay healthy and they play up to their capabilities, I think they run away with this division. But it's really hard to foresee that happening when they've got such a checkered injury history. Plus, Lowell Mets wasn't that long ago. Maybe Daddy Cohen can outspend all of his problems, but that remains to be seen. For now, I'm being conservative, 2nd place. The Braves are borderline inspiring last year. They only won 88 games and were missing their best player for the whole year, and all that cost them was, they won the World Series. They lost Freeman, they got Olsen. They added Kenley Jansen, seemingly just for fun. Their pitching staff is good, largely young. Their lineup is good, largely young. It's hard to bet against the chance when they've given you no reason to, and the Braves have given me no reason to. So I'm going to say they win the division and are a strong threat to repeat. This year's Oakland A's season is going to be a 162-game temper tantrum about how the city of Oakland won't hand the team billions of dollars to build a new stadium. It seems like all their moves this year have been a deliberate attempt to alienate their fan base so that they can turn around and say, see? Nobody wants to see the A's! I can't possibly imagine why. Bassett, gone. Manaea, gone. Olsen, gone. Chapman, gone. Frankie Montas is all but out the door. I don't think management is under any illusion that Oakland A's fans would want to watch this iteration of this team. Anyway, they're going to be bad, and in a couple of years they're probably going to be in Las Vegas. So, check back then, I guess. 5th place. The Rangers spent $500 million on a pretty good middle infield. Seager and Semien, I think they're going to do a fine job, and they're going to drive in some runs. This team is going to get scored on. Constantly. Hilariously. All the damn time. It's easy to dunk on them for spending $500 million to finish in 4th place, but honestly, they've got a good thing cooking. They've got some good prospects coming up. Jack Leiter looks like he's going to be incredible. And when those guys do arrive, Seager and Semien are still going to be there as the veteran leaders who are still quite good at baseball. The Rangers look like they might be a real threat to win the World Series in 2025. This year, though, 4th place. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Rendon, Noah Syndergaard, emerging players Joe Adell and Jared Walsh. Somehow 3rd place. Somebody get this team some pitching. Please. Please. If anyone watching this channel cares about hockey, Mike Trout is Connor McDavid again. A transcendent, beautiful player that you just want to watch in the playoffs. But he's stuck on a team that can't get out of its own way. I'm not saying they're not trying to win. They're clearly trying to win. They're spending money. They're just doing it stupidly. The Angels are spending more than the total payroll of several different teams so that Justin Upton and Albert Pujols cannot play for them. Ohtani is transcendent. Trout might end up being the best player of all time. How can they not be the favorites to win year after year after year? The most depressing 3rd place team in the league by a country mile. Ooh. I need a drink. Seattle, I wish I had better news for you. You're getting better internally. J.P. Crawford is really, really fun. Jared Kelenic is going to have a breakout season, I think. I love Mitch Haniger. I love rooting for him. I think he's so fun. You're getting better externally. Adding Robbie Ray. Adding Jesse Winker. These are fabulous additions. This is all in addition to a team that won 90 games last year. You should be a shoo-in for the playoffs. But yeah, it's a testament to just how crazy top-heavy the American League is this year. Seattle is a legitimately really good team. They were really good last year. I think they've improved. I think they're going to be even better this year. But I still think there's 6 teams that are better than them, and there's only 6 playoff spots. I'm sorry, my dudes. It's really tough, and I wish that the years of the SOG were truly past you. But it would be the most Seattle Mariners baseball thing to have this team win 92 games and not make the playoffs. I hope I'm wrong, and there's a good chance I am. I'm not very smart, but I have Seattle as the best 2nd place team in any division not called the American League East, and I just don't think that's going to be enough. Sorry, guys. 2nd place, but strong, and a virtuous 2nd place. Like, the most moral of moral victories. Wow, it's a really depressing division, huh? Okay, well, this next one's not going to make it any better. The Houston Astros are a really good baseball team. They're deep, they're talented, they're really well run. They've got all kinds of good young players and veteran leadership that's won a championship. Any objective analysis of this team has to say, yeah, they're the best team in the division. Yeah, they're a World Series threat, I guess. They're an excellent organization. I hate them so much. It's not even the cheating. The cheating, okay. Alright, it is the cheating. But it's also the fact that they completely stone cold got away with it. Everybody knows they cheated. Nobody seems to care. At least nobody who has the power to do anything about it. Fans care, but no one cares that they care at all. It got so bad that the commissioner of the damn sport called the trophy you win at the end for winning the World Series a piece of metal. I don't know how we got to this shameful point, but I blame the Astros for most of it. Anyway, they're really good, and they're going to the playoffs, and they might win the World Series, and I'm salty about it. I need another drink and a shower. Whew, okay, let's shake that off. Let's get back to why we love this sport, right? Let's talk about more fun teams like... This Kansas City rebuild has been a slow burn, and it's not even close to being done yet. Bobby Witt Jr. is a really exciting prospect, and I'm glad he's breaking camp at the big club. Getting to watch him for the whole year is one of the major reasons why one might want to watch the Kansas City Royals. Also for all the Zach Greinke memes. The guy is hilarious, and going back to where it all began is, kind of fun. It's like a kid who went to a summer camp coming back as a counselor. Good times. It's a rebuild, just a slow one. 5th place. It's hard to say that Cleveland is a 4th place club because, I mean, they've actually got some pretty nice pieces. First of all, they re-signed Jose Ramirez. I did not see that coming. It's not like they're bereft of other offensive talent. Franmil Reyes can hit some home runs. Ahmed Rosario is okay sometimes, I guess. But I love their young rotation. Tristan McKenzie, Cal Quantrill, these kids really stepped forward last year, and I don't see any reason to think that they won't be able to continue that momentum. And by the way, they're getting Shane Bieber back after missing him most of the last year. And guy's got a Cy Young Award on his mantle. He's pretty good. So how do I look at this team and say they're 4th place club? Well, mostly because their offense is pretty one-dimensional. It's Jose Ramirez and some guys. Their starting rotation is based upon a guy who missed all of last year and a couple of kids who, I mean, they look good. Don't get me wrong, they look good. But, you know, will one of them repeat and or improve over the course of the year? Yes. Will both of them? That's a little harder to say. Anyway, they've done the hard part and they've assembled a pretty good young rotation. If they ever ponied up some money to get some bats with them, they'd have something cooking there. But until then, 4th place. The Twins are another confusing team. Basically the American League's Cubs. Last year and this offseason, they've jettisoned talent, and then later in the offseason, they brought a lot of talent in, including Carlos Correa? Holy sh! I'm just not quite sure how we get from 9 months ago, you're trading your ace to the Blue Jays for a couple prospects, and now you're signing the best shortstop in the world to a short-term deal. Trading your bat-first catcher, Mitch Garver, so that you can trade Josh Donaldson to bring in another bat-first catcher. Don't get me wrong, Gary Sanchez is an excellent change of scenery candidate. It's just a little confusing. I'm also not sure where their outs are coming from. This is another really offensive-heavy team with not a whole lot of pitching to back it up. And I can't help but say, I mean, I'm not complaining at all, but I look at this team and I'm like, wow, Jose Barrios would have looked really good at the top of that rotation. Anyway, it seems like they moved the deck chairs around and spent a lot of money to be in 3rd place again. None of what I just said is that controversial, but here comes my hot take. I love the Detroit Tigers. I love what they're doing. I love the direction they're going, and I think they're going to finish in 2nd and really buck for a playoff spot this year. Getting Il Mago was a big boost, but I think even before they got Baez, I loved the direction they were going in. I know it's fun with moving goalposts, but if you pretty much ignore the first 2 months of last year, they were an above 500 team and are a really tough out. Akil Baddoo is fabulous. I wish there were 20 of those kind of guys in the big leagues right now instead of like 3. I think their good young pitching is going to take a step forward. I think Tarek Skubal is going to have a fabulous year. Spencer Torkelson making the big leagues, that's very exciting too. Yeah, I love them. I love their upside. I love their juice. I love their momentum. I think this is a team that's going to make some noise this year. I don't think they're going to quite make it just because of how hard it is to make the playoffs. Just ask the Mariners. But I think they're going to be feisty. I think they're going to win a bunch of games, and I think they're going to show you they're a lot closer than maybe people are giving them credit for. A strong 2nd place from Detroit. Chicago is a very talented team, and they were kind of forecasted to be a really talented team, right? I mean, when they were picking up guys like Robert and Eloy and all these other guys, this is about the time that they were supposed to peak. This is about the time that they were supposed to be really, really dangerous and a threat to win the World Series. And yeah, they're the best team in their division, but I can't quite help feeling there's a little bit of ennui about this organization. Like that they're good, but they're not quite living up to promise or expectations. That following the playbook of how to tear down an organization just to build it back up into a contender hasn't quite borne the fruit that you're expecting to. Now, a full season of Luis Robert will probably change a lot of minds. A stronger season from Lucas Giolito wouldn't hurt either. They've got a pretty strong team in general and an absolutely fabulous bullpen. Seriously, I love Liam Hendriks. I think he's great. It makes me very sad that he doesn't play for the Blue Jays anymore. Yeah, I think they're going to win their division. I just don't really see World Series contender on this team yet, and I can't quite help but feel that this maybe is the best this team is going to be. Things can change in a heartbeat, one phone call, one major trade, and all of a sudden we have to reevaluate the whole thing, right? So I'm not saying it's impossible, just my current evaluation is Chicago is a good, not great playoff team. Whew! Okay, that's it. That's how I think the other 5 divisions are going to shake out. Thanks for sticking with me through all that. If you like this video, like, subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff. I'll leave that all in your capable hands. But do be sure to check out the next video where I talk about the way things are going to shake out in the AL East with your Toronto Blue Jays and, you know, all those other guys that they have to play. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.